Welcome to another stock analysis video performed by MajesticTrader.com, where active traders seek greater profits. So let's begin. Hi everybody, this is Ronald with MajesticTrader.com doing another weekly analysis video on the market, specifically the S&P 500 and some of our major market leaders. We are looking at the daily S&P 500 chart. And as we expected, we pushed through this 1300 level into our range of 1300 through 1325. And we've had some pretty strong price action here over the last week. Some pretty strong earnings from some of the big blue chip companies, specifically IBM, that really pushed the Dow up on Friday. What we are looking for here is for it to really stay in this range. Maybe peak out around 1325, maybe a little bit of a pullback. If we see some extraordinary earnings here coming up over the next week, we could push through that 1330 level towards 1350. But we don't believe that we're truly going to get beyond 1350. One of the things that we'd like to do is to see some kind of a healthy pullback, maybe back to the 1310, 1305 level before it bounces back up again to 1327. We've actually had some decent volume in the market over the last week, which is very positive. But if we look left here, we can see that we have significant 3 points and 3 levels of resistance coming up that it needs to get through. And a lot of that is going to depend really on 3 things. Number one, it's going to depend on really earnings. Number one, that's coming up over the next couple of weeks. We also believe that it's going to depend on Europe, which is obviously in everybody's mind. There's a lot of big things coming out now about some settlements with Greek debt, and we could get closer to finality on that. And the third thing is we have a pretty big FOMC meeting this week, and they could be hinting towards QE3. Now, just because they hint towards QE3 doesn't automatically make our markets go up like it did with QE2. But I think what we need to do is, if they do hint towards QE3, is what type of QE3 are they going to do? And if it looks like that it's going to significantly prop up the markets, all we need is really 1 or 2 other points of conviction. And one of those 2 other points is obviously they're going to be corporate earnings or some resolution or stability in the EU. So if we get some pretty good hints to QE3 and 1 or 2 of those other things between earnings in the EU, we could easily see this 1350 within a week to 2 weeks. So that's one of the things that we want to look for in the markets. Looking at our market leaders, ExxonMobil, one of the big components of the Dow, pushed right through, as we expected, this supply resistance level here towards the 8750 level. And one of the things that we'd like to see here is that you get higher highs. So we could push a little bit higher here towards our $90 target, but we might see a pullback to the $86 level before we shoot higher. Kind of this stair-step case. Look at Apple. Apple had a pretty good week this past week and a bit of a pullback on Friday after it reached new highs on Wednesday and then Thursday. Had a healthy pullback here to this level. We look for this not to go any lower than 415, 412 before it goes higher again towards 430. There have been several analysts that came out and upped their price targets to over $500, which is probably the average. IBM did exactly what we expected, probably a little bit quicker than we expected. It came down to this support demand area here before it shot higher from earnings after Thursday, which pushed it up on Friday and truly propelled the Dow for some pretty good bull action. Microsoft did what we expected, a little bit quicker than we expected, especially as you can see the type of movement that Microsoft usually has. Microsoft came out with pretty good earnings here and went right through our target at 29.50. So we're going to be looking for a pullback probably to the $28.50 to $29 area before it either stabilizes and is range bound or goes higher, probably through that $30 level, which is a psychological level for a lot of people with Microsoft over the last 8 to 10 years. Looking at Walmart, Walmart did exactly what we expected. It hit our target here of around 61.25. We're going to be looking for a pullback in Walmart. You can see the type of action that we had here. It kind of pulls back, bases, runs, pull back, bases, runs. So look for another pullback here to the 66.50 level before it takes its next leg higher. Looking at Chevron. Chevron had a healthy pullback. It has been on a steady run upward with higher lows. Looks like it's creating this pennant formation here. We're looking for a resolution higher to the $108 level, which we should get over the next week to 2 weeks with good earnings. Google, very strange action here. Actually did a trade here and then added to it after earnings. We had some pretty good action going into the earnings announcement. And even though Google missed, it actually still had some pretty good internals. We're looking for it to get back up to at least the 610, 612 level within the week and pretty quickly here, because we definitely believe that this Friday's action here was just way overdone. So we're looking for it to at least fill half this gap here on the chart. Looking at Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble had some pretty good price action. Looks like it's basing a little bit. We don't see a lot coming out of P&G. Maybe a little bit higher to the $66.50 to $67 level. Telephone actually had some pretty good price action. Hit our price target here at $30.50. There's a lot of resistance here. Some pretty good volume. A little bit at average volume, daily volume. We actually saw the internals of this volume, and there's been more up volume than down volume. There's been some pretty good call action here on AT&T. So we might see a little bit of a pullback, but we believe that it will push through this $31 level probably within the next month, depending on how earnings pan out. They're reporting earnings the end of next week. GE had some pretty good price action here over the last month and a half. Right now it's in the supply resistance area here around 1915. We believe, based upon the earnings season and where this is going to go, it might resolve up to the $20 level before it pulls back. I don't see that there's going to be any real major movement there in the stock. Coca-Cola pulled back to the area that we expected. Did not play this, but you can see that it had a very strong movement out of this range here, probably getting closer to where our target is here, 68.75 on this chart. We weren't, if you remember last week, we weren't sure whether it was going to go above or below this level. Came down, went very strongly out of it. We expected a good move to the upside, which it did move over the last couple of trading days. So 68.75 over the next week and a half we're expecting. McDonald's keeps on trucking. What are we expecting here with McDonald's? Well, now that it's officially broken out of this channel, we are going to remove these channel ranges and start to look for some new technicals. Based upon what we see here, we think that McDonald's is going to still go higher, perhaps up to the $105 level within a month. You could just see the action here, this stair step, the higher lows here, and then it breaks it up here, not with a lot of great price action, but with some pretty good volume. So we'd like to see some follow through, kind of like the way these 3 days went here, to be able to push through that level. Caterpillar has some excellent price action, went through one target, and it's going through our next target here of around $109. We think it'll hit that over the next week to 2 weeks. Home Depot keeps trucking. Like McDonald's, you can see a very similar chart. It broke out of this channel here and keeps going. This 49.62 level here is a Fibonacci level from its all-time high. From its high about 12 years ago to now, the low. And what we want to do here is we'll probably see a continuation of a stair-step approach unless there's some type of economic event that makes it have a healthy pullback. And the transportations has done pretty much what we expected to do. It finally broke through. It had this great ascending triangle here. We have a measured move target of 55.43. It broke through this supply resistance zone here. We think that it might hit 5400, pull back or base consolidate, and then go higher. So we're expecting a pretty good stair-stepping case. This being a leading indicator will really show where our economy is going. If it could hit 55.43 here with some alacrity and some pretty good volume in the market. Thank you for attending another MajesticTrader.com's stock chart analysis. Visit our website to request one of our newsletters. Go to our website at www.majestictrader.com. In the upper right-hand corner, put in your email address and your name, and we'll send you out a copy. Once you become a member, you'll have access to complete trade performance, all stock analysis videos, archived newsletters, and midweek alerts that are trading ideas. We'll send those out to you via email. Again, thank you for attending.